Oh, sweet. We are live. Awesome. Cool. Welcome in, everybody. It's been a minute since I've done a live stream, but I found a ton of great videos, and I just kind of wanted to take some time and talk about them because, of course, they're just some crazy times, y'all. Some crazy times. Let's see. We've got Jim Jordan. We've got this PetSmart moron. We've got videos from Steve Bannon and Carrie Lake and Mike Lindell. Like whenever you have videos of these guys, it's always entertaining because of just how ridiculous it is. So let's listen to, and essentially what I've done is I've just like gone in and I've just bookmarked a ton of videos on Twitter. So let's just go through them. It's here in San Diego. It's rainy. It's cold. I've got my vest on, ready to go. So let's watch Steve Bannon discuss Carrie Lake, and let's just hear him talk to Carrie Lake and Mike Lindell. Let's hear this.
Ronna McDaniel has not, you've been there for 3 days. Ronna McDaniel has not pulled you aside and say, let's have a cup of coffee and spend 5 minutes together. Have you guys spent any time with each other one-on-one?
What's going on with that?
No, we haven't, unfortunately. And you know what? I do want to reach out to her because here's what's going on. And I know that this might not be the popular view. Ronna won.
Full stop. Hang on, full stop. You shouldn't have to reach out to Ronna McDaniel. You're the freaking governor of Arizona. You just won an incredibly tough race because you stood for policies that MAGA stands for. She should be blowing your phone up every day. Can I get 5 minutes?
Got my number.
This is outrageous.
But here's what I'm willing to do. I'm willing to meet with her and say, let's move forward, because this next election, if we do not get President Donald Trump back in the White House, I don't know how much longer we can last. I think our republic is in peril. I will do everything in my power. Yeah. If that means I campaign across the country, whatever it means, I want to get President Trump in because I want my children to have a future.
But hang on. If we don't get you in Arizona, now I'm not sure we have sovereignty.
Okay, so I'm kind of curious here as to, like, did Steve Bannon actually think that she actually won, or is he just trolling? Like, that guy is so delusional that he may have said to himself over and over again that Carrie Lake won in Arizona, and that he actually believes it now. Or he's just being a troll because that's who Steve Bannon is. And that seems to be right, because Republicans are just losing all of the time, and they're such losers that that trend runs through the Republican Party. And actually the video that we'll watch in a little bit, where this guy goes into PetSmart, he kind of has that same delusion as Carrie Lake. The whole, like, it's the end of the Republic, right? That's their thing. That's their scare tactic, right? It's constant fear from these people. And it's a wild way to gin up votes, but they do it. Let's watch Kevin McCarthy talk about George Santos.
A very quick question: who has more power, Joe Biden or George Santos?
Well, right
He's
now
so creepy.
I think it is the president, Joe Biden, unfortunately.
He's so creepy. Unfortunately, right, Kevin McCarthy, you would rather have. So I'm pretty sure by that logic, George Santos, you'd rather have George Santos as your president, the fraud, the former drag queen fraud. That's who you want as your president. Okay, that's cool. That's weird. That's who you would trust over Joe Biden to have power. Let's look at these guys. Yeah, so this is at Mar-a-Lago. These are the women of Mar-a-Lago. Oh man. Yeah. There you go. Because Trump's the God-fearing man that we all know and love. Boy, oh boy. Yikes. They're dancing to Cardi B. If I played that, this live stream is going to get taken down because YouTube is so awesome. My goodness. And then here we go. More fear mongering from Tom
drug
Cotton.
traffickers, child rapists coming across our border every day. Just recently, we've caught all.
Wow. Okay. So I don't know why Twitter does this, but they like reset my timeline. These guys are so bad. They're so bad. They're at speaking, and they have these things prepared. They have these lines prepared. They like work on this stuff, and they're still so bad at it.
Child rapists coming across our border every day.
Did he start off with traffickers and child rapists?
There are terrible, depraved criminals, drug traffickers, child rapists coming across our border every day. Just recently, we've caught almost 40 people on the terror watch list. How many people do you think got away from the terror watch list? Is there going to be another 9/11 in this country because of our open borders? So you're right that this is a national security threat, in addition to being a threat to our communities with crime and drugs and threatening the jobs of hardworking Americans.
I love the Fox News host. How she's like, oh my God, you're so right. This is so terrible. Oh, how many got past our border patrol? Oh, yeah, okay, Tom. And of course, Fox News, they're just so pathetic.
I see it every day in my oversight capacity, whether it's on, many of these agencies that we oversee. Take a look at the Department of Defense. Now, I've been a strong advocate when it comes to making sure that we have the resources for strong national security. But their woke agenda, we ought to be going after those programs that are not focused on what DoD should be focused on, but are far left radical agendas. Also, look at the unspent COVID funds. That's hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars that we can go after immediately.
Do you have areas in your mind that you think are ripe for spending cuts? Where would you cut?
Well, absolutely. We need to look at every dollar when it comes to discretionary spending. We see the waste, fraud, and abuse that exists in these agencies. I see it every day in my oversight capacity, whether it's on, many of these agencies that we oversee. Take a look at the Department of Defense. Now, I've been a strong advocate when it comes to making sure that we have the resources for strong national security. But their woke agenda, we ought to be going after those programs that are not focused on what DoD should be focused on, but are far left radical agendas. Also, look at the unspent COVID funds. That's hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars that we can go after immediately.
Do you have areas in your mind?
What is she even talking about? The wokeness of the Department of Defense. Oh man, come on, Stefanik. Come on. Far-reaching extremist liberal communist socialist takeover. Okay. These people are so disgusting. Oh, Trump Jr. is he's gonna talk about how his daddy is gonna end the Russian invasion of Ukraine.
Or didn't have Russia invade, unlike all the prior presidents and Joe Biden, their neighboring nations. Why don't we bring that back? Ukraine can overperform. I mean, I don't think they're winning. It seems like, the news will say, every time Russia makes a gain, it's not really a significant strategic victory. Every time Ukraine makes some sort of gain, it's very significant strategic. No one knows. Okay, they don't know. They're trying to make it seem, but this has been going on forever. Obviously, Russia has underperformed. Everyone thought this thing would be over in 2 weeks, but when they ask for F-16s, then what's next? Where does it end? Where does the blank check stop? So, like everything that Trump's been right about,
tanks, man.
You can see his tweet on Truth Social, like, first come the tanks. It's going to never end. Until we say enough is enough, no one's coming to the table. Until we say...
Twitter, man, what are you doing? All right, let's find him. Until we say enough is enough.
The Pentagon, basically, a year at this point. I mean, since its inception, right? If you miss your taxes by doing this crap anymore, no one has an incentive to negotiate. At what point does Russia say, hey, you know what? Now that we're at war with the United States, essentially, now we've been in a proxy war for basically, a year at this point. I mean, since its inception, right? As if you miss like your taxes by like $2, the IRS is coming to visit you. The Pentagon, what's a couple $100 billion between friends? So I imagine there's more money being sent over there. So, and as long as they're doing that, and I imagine as long as people are grifting off of this and making their billions and stealing whatever it is, and, you know, we see the Taliban's now selling our vehicles that we left there of the billions in equipment there to Russia so they can use it against Ukraine, who we're supporting in this proxy war. When does it end? When do people in Russia say, hey, we're fighting the U.S. at this point, and escalate? Because that's what I'm worried about. This stuff should be overstacked.
Wow. Okay. All right. Don Jr. just ranting and raving. This is really an important, topic, and that's the removal of Democrats from a lot of these committees. Ones that Kevin McCarthy is targeting because it will ramp up his base. And so, Kevin McCarthy has been coming out and just lying about, the removals being non-political, and they most certainly are. So here's Ilhan Omar talking about her position on the Foreign Affairs Committee.
Have the opportunity to do so, but to smear someone and their character, their love for their country, and the work that they get to do on a committee is wrong, and it is politically motivated, and in some cases is motivated by the fact that many of these members don't believe a Muslim, a refugee, an African should even be in Congress, let alone have the opportunity to serve on the Foreign Affairs Committee.
You said that before. I mean, it sounds like you're accusing Kevin McCarthy of racism.
I mean, I'm not making any accusations. I'm just laying out the facts. You remember Donald Trump coming into my state and saying Muslims, Somali refugees are infiltrating our country. You remember Marjorie Taylor Greene coming to Congress after Rashida and I got sworn in and saying Muslims are infiltrating Congress. You remember Boebert saying that I was a terrorist. What did McCarthy do? He said she apologized and we don't have to worry about her Islamophobia. That never happened. And so these people are okay with Islamophobia. They're okay with trafficking in their own ways in anti-Semitism. They are not okay with having a Muslim have a voice on that committee.
Yeah, well said. And it's just so depressing and sad seeing Kevin McCarthy behave the way that he is, and the fact that we as a country gave him that power, and he is using it to cement the extremist part of the Republican Party in our politics. He's taken them from the fringe to, putting Marjorie Taylor Greene on committees, putting George Santos, on these committees. It's sad. It's sad. So Ilhan Omar speaking out like that, that's what she needs to continue to do, because the more Americans who, they don't pay close attention to politics, they're just working their 9-to-5 jobs. They're taking care of their families. They're living their best lives. They need to hear the truth from reasonable people, like Ilhan Omar, like Adam Schiff, like Eric Swalwell. So the more these guys talk about what Kevin McCarthy is doing, I am all for it. Because people like myself and people like you guys who are watching, live streams about politics, and talking about this kind of stuff, we're in it. We know how much of a betrayal this is to like our ideals as a country. The way these Republicans are behaving, trying to exclude rather than include. So the more these people talk, the more we have diverse voices in our Congress, the better it is, no matter what Kevin McCarthy and the extremists like Matt Gaetz and Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene say. Okay, so this video is I don't know if you guys recognize this guy. He made a video. I don't know when he made it, but he went into a PetSmart and he started complaining about the rainbow flag that they had, and it apparently went viral and had tens of millions of views. And so he decided to return to, I think, the same PetSmart. Yeah, it's got to be the same PetSmart, because you'll hear the employee talk about her manager and how he handled it. This is one of those cringy videos, but it's also hilarious because the people at PetSmart just handle him like the bad puppy that he is, right? And they're just like, okay, yeah, we're not gonna accept that behavior around here, right? Like you gotta go, like bad dog. Let's watch this guy.
Look where we are, PetSmart. See if they still have that pride flag up.
Let's see if they still have the pride flag up. Okay, bud. So he just walks in. Just walks in. He's recording. Like a little
You guys
troll.
Still have that pride flag up? Why is that? You guys are pedophiles? No, we're not. LGBT fascists?
We're with the LGBT, dude.
Of course you are, because you're with the destruction of America. Because look at you, you're wearing a mask.
No, he's all over the place, right?
Can I get someone to the front, please?
Do you guys support LGBT?
I was just buying dog food.
I know, but do you support LGBT?
Oh man, it's so
You guys are never
awkward.
gonna take that flag down after the,
Oh
after,
man, it's so
that video
awkward.
got 10 million views last time. Yeah, of course he did. Because you guys are Democrats, liberals.
My manager really got like a lot. He got an award for that video. For the way that he handled it. Was it posted on your website? No, it wasn't. But it just got around like so much. Like there's a lot of this coverage. So I'm just trying to make
Yeah,
sure
it got a lot of press. It got a lot of press.
That is 95 cents.
You know, that flag is a flag of Satan, and you know I'm sick of it.
Flag of Satan. Twitter. What are you doing? Elon, bro. Elon, how about you fix your bookmark feed? I'm in the middle of watching videos and they're resetting the timeline. So weird. Okay.
No, it wasn't. But it just got around like so
Elon,
much. Like, there's a lot
fix
of
your
coverage. So I'm just trying to make
Yeah,
sure
it got a lot of press. It got a lot of press.
That is 95 cents.
You know, that flag is a flag of Satan, and you know I'm sick of it.
I'm gonna ask you to leave again.
You're gonna ask me to leave?
Yes.
Aww. Look at that. She, her, hers, guys. Look at that.
Okay, please leave now.
Wow. All right, I'll be back in June.
Alright, have fun.
I'll be back in
I'll be
June.
back in June. So weird.
You'll still be up?
Alright, I will be calling the police right now.
Yeah, I'll be calling the police. I'm calling the police. You know, RIP Arizona, RIP USA.
There it is, right?
Man, they're calling the police on me. Oh.
There it is.
Ah, the destruction of America is nice, isn't it? Wow, how are you guys
Destruction of
enjoying
America,
the end
right?
times? You guys enjoying?
The LGBTQ is, according to this guy, man, PetSmart flying a flag is the end times, signifies the end times of America. And because he can't go into a PetSmart and behave like a child, it's the end times of America. Man, these people are so pathetic. These religious fruitcakes are so pathetic. I had to talk about this guy because he's trying to make these videos and he thinks that, you know, it got 10 million views. Like that's because I'm awesome and people think that I'm doing the right thing. No, no, buddy. No, man, we're all embarrassed for you. Like you make our country look stupid, dude. You make us look like less of a country than we are. And the real threat to America is your intolerance. right? That's not the way that real Americans look and look at other people who are different than them. That's the whole purpose of America, my guy. That's the whole point, is that we everybody is included and everybody has a voice. Come on, bud. Like, you gotta. Oof. I hope. So he's in Arizona, right? Man, Arizona, don't take away your AP history classes, because this guy needs a lesson. Oof. All right. So these videos are from this weekend, and they are so beautiful to watch. Jim Jordan went on Meet the Press, and Chuck Todd has, if you guys watched any of the White House Correspondents' Dinners or any criticism of Chuck Todd, it's always that he doesn't push back, that he lets people come in and just say whatever they want to say, and he lets them get away with it. But with the Republicans taking control of Congress, and with them choosing to create this weaponization of the government committee that is just a complete joke of a committee, I guess his mind has been changed. And so let's watch Chuck Todd push back against Jim Jordan and the investigations that they want to start into Biden, and also just his nonstop lies.
They raided Trump's home. They haven't raided Biden's home.
Because Biden didn't defy a subpoena, Congressman. He defied a subpoena. By the way, he had 60 days to comply with the subpoena before they actually executed
President
the search
Trump
warrant.
had documents locked in a room with Secret Service protecting them. President Biden had documents in his garage and in a think tank that was funded by the Chinese. I think there's a difference. President Trump was the only guy who was actually president.
You talk about that. You're worried about the Chinese and Hunter Biden.
No, I'm just saying.
Are you worried about the Chinese and Donald Trump?
They took pictures of.
Are you at all worried about that?
No, I'm not. But they took pictures of the documents at Trump's house. They took no pictures of documents. In fact, it's not just me who would like to know what went on here. Senator Warner said it last week. He would like to get a briefing. He wants to see the documents. And guess what? The FBI is saying no, but they took pictures of the folders in Trump's home.
The issue is not whether what Joe Biden did.
No, the issue is equal treatment under the law. That's the issue.
No, the issue is
treatment under the law.
You do not seem to ever see the same conspiratorial problems when it's a Republican.
Those were all investigated for 4 years, and they continue to do it.
Their Durham investigation investigated everything you're trying to investigate and came up with nothing. Do you not trust Bill Barr and Mr. Durham?
The Mueller investigation, we had 2.5 years of this, and they were going to find Russian collusion, and guess what? They can't. Even though Adam Schiff told us that
the Durham investigation did not come up with any. They investigated all these concerns that you had about the FBI, about made-up snitches, all these things. They didn't find anything. Why is it that you want to reinvestigate it?
They found that Kevin Kleinsmith altered documents, and he pled guilty to it. That's finding. When you got someone at the FBI altering documents in front of the FISA court, that's not finding anything. That's pretty important, Chuck. That's not,
they did not find what you are claiming that is out there.
Well,
why couldn't Durham find it?
The Durham investigation is not done. The Mueller investigation is done. And what did he conclude? No collusion, no conspiracy, no coordination. And we had 19 lawyers, 30 agents, $40 million spent on that, and it consumed the country for 2.5 years, and there was nothing there.
Let me ask you about subpoena compliance.
Okay, so obviously that was a pretty good job of Chuck Todd pushing back and using the Durham investigation and using how big of hypocrites Republicans are, saying that, oh, so you don't want to investigate anything that Trump might have done, his ties to China? No, of course not, right? Of course not, because Jim Jordan is in Trump's back pocket. What I disagree with here is Chuck Todd not pushing back on what the Mueller report found, because the Mueller report didn't find no collusion, right? It said, Mueller and the report said that they had so much pushback and so much interference, basically obstruction of justice from the Trump White House, that they could not conclude anything, right? So, which is like a big difference But of course, somebody who is just interested in investigating Joe Biden and Hunter Biden from a laptop produced by Rudy Giuliani is going to lie about everything. And it's Jim Jordan. He is one of the most pathetic people in Congress. There's also more from this interview.
Justice Department, Donald Trump did.
Oh, Elon, dude, stop refreshing my Twitter feed. I'm sorry, guys. This is really annoying.
Roger Stone. He pressured, he was the Justice Department, Donald Trump did, to go easy on Michael Flynn and Roger Stone. The Justice Department was pressured by Mark Meadows to investigate this election fraud. He even tried to change the leadership at the Justice Department. My point is, if you are concerned about the weaponization of the Justice Department in the Biden years, why not investigate the Trump years?
We're going to look at threats to the First Amendment. We're going to look at this. What Elon Musk, through the Twitter files, has displayed is unbelievable. The idea that the FBI was paying Twitter $3.4 million to help them suppress information
that's not how
and
it works.
keep information from the American
Twitter to comply with subpoenas. That's the federal law.
Do you think it was
That's a law Congress passed.
Do you think it's okay for the FBI to be meeting every week and suppressing information about a conservative and suppressing the Hunter Biden story, which we know is true? Do you think that's all right? I think most Americans say, no, that's probably information.
I understand, but this is a private organization that made this decision.
With pressure from the government. That's the point. I can understand a private organization can do it. I don't think it's right, but there shouldn't be pressure from the government. When is the FBI just going to stay out of election process? Just let we the people decide. Let the American people decide. In 2016, they spied on Trump's campaign. 2018, it was the Mueller investigation. 2020, they helped suppress the Hunter Biden story. 2022, they raided the home of a former president 91 days before an election. Maybe just let the American people decide.
You keep talking about a raid, but you keep talking about this raid on Donald Trump. The amount of time, there was 9 months between the initial action that the archives made for a request of documents before they even turned it over to the Justice Department. The subpoena was issued 60 days before they actually executed the subpoena. And more importantly, the only time the public found out about it is because Donald Trump told the public about it. This was not some sort of, you paint it as a picture of the FBI did this, and this within hours of each other, when it was actually a year and a half of Donald Trump not complying with any of the requests from National Archives. A year and a half. This is not some sort of proof that somehow that they've weaponized and playing politics over here.
They raided Trump's home. They haven't raided Biden's home.
Because Biden didn't defy a subpoena, Congressman. He defied a subpoena. By the way, he had 60 days to comply.
Yeah, funny, isn't it, Jim Jordan?
When
you look like a donkey.
Trump had documents locked in a
when you look like a donkey. Okay, so the great thing about this is that because this committee is going to be, it's basically the Republican social media committee, right? Where they're just going to have their biggest firebombers out there just throwing, all sorts of conspiracies at the wall, and it's gonna rile up social media. And which is interesting that Jim Jordan is talking about the FBI interfering with Twitter to suppress the Hunter Biden story, when the whole point of this committee and the whole strategy of Jim Jordan is to lie and fearmonger about these Democrats and these investigations and these conspiracies, so that social media blows up and he gets mentioned and people are talking about, Hunter Biden and not, right, and not the Inflation Reduction Act, or not Republicans trying to, cut taxes, right, for the wealthiest people. It's their own way of manipulating social media, right? It's just the hypocrisy from these guys is just, it's utterly astounding when you really kind of zoom out and think about, what it is that they're doing. Of course, they're investigating, they want to investigate President Biden's the classified documents, and then, oh no, when it comes to Donald Trump's classified documents, what? No way. So what this is, this committee, right, for the next year, the next couple of years, like this committee is going to be, I'm going to be talking about this a lot on this channel because there is going to need to be fact checks on these liars, right? But the beautiful thing about it is that Chuck Todd just easily displayed how you can just push back against these morons, right? How little they're working with. They're in such a weak position, right? You think, right, the way they speak and the way they get all fired up about, Hunter Biden and the Biden documents and the relationship with China and Eric Swalwell sleeping with the spy and Adam Schiff lied and, Ilhan Omar's the Muslim terrorist. Like it's when you really sift through and they get pushed back, you see that they're just a bunch of liars. And so what the real thing that we're going to be talking about, right, with this committee is not only their lies, but there are going to be moments where, Democratic witnesses and Democratic lawmakers are going to push back, and it's going to look a lot like this. And this is from Chuck Todd, who he's supposed to be this hey man, I want to present you with, some facts that may push back against your narrative. Democrats are going to be vocal in their pushback of the Matt Gaetz, of the Marjorie Taylor Greens, of the Jim Jordans, of the I don't know if Gaetz is on this committee. But I'm pretty sure Jim Jordan will be one of the heads. So that was really the video that I really wanted to talk about today, because this is the crystal ball of what the committee on the weaponization of our government, this is what it's going to look like. And it's going to be Jim Jordan and these Republicans fumbling around if they decide to go up against any of these Democratic witnesses. What'll probably happen is they'll call their Republican witnesses, and these guys will just go on and on and on. They'll use their 5 minutes, and then they'll go, okay, so I'm going to ask you a question, right? Am I right? And then their witness will just, yeah. Oh yeah, and I'm really concerned about, if voters don't do anything in this next election, will this mean the end of our country, right? Like what Kari Lake said, and what the PetSmart troll said, and what Tom Cotton said, right? Oh, our open borders. Oh, is there going to be a 9/11? Is this the end of the republic? Kari Lake. Oh, if we don't get Donald Trump in, this is the end of the republic. Oh, be scared. Be scared. Truly pathetic. So yeah, that was the live stream. Thank you guys for watching. Rep Z, thanks for commenting, man. And thank you guys for liking the live stream. If you want to support the channel, you can become a member. You can subscribe. You can like the videos and share them. I'm also over at Patreon, and I'm on Facebook at ReflectVid. I think the links are down in the info description of the video. So yeah, I will. Maybe I'll do some more of these live streams. I'm having fun with this, and lots to talk about.